In today's society, it is so important to have an education, and we stress this to all of our students by instilling in them to go to college, to get an education, become somebody. However, we fail to do one thing: we fail to prepare them for the economic hardships that they're going to endure in college or out of college. It's become a trend. It's become so obvious and so apparent nowadays that students are jumping into high interest loans and very slippery slopes when it comes to their financial future. So according to the U.S. News data, the average borrower or the average student in the class of 2013 was in debt about $27,000. Now that's the average. It could be less, it could be more, a lot more sometimes. So we need to prepare them to make more responsible decisions as they enter into the adult life, so that they may be able to live a successful life free of debt or free or at least with very little debt. So I propose that all students should receive a mandatory financial literacy training. So although most colleges actually do offer programs or have programs that cater to students who want to learn, about being financially stable and having a successful financial future. However, these programs are not mandatory for students. So, these students often think that perhaps it's boring or that there is enough of incentive to actually go to these seminars or courses or weekend programs where they stress the importance of having a financial future. And the other reason is that students often don't look into these programs because again it's not mandatory, so they're so worried about applying to different colleges and going to school and getting as best the grades as possible in the classes that actually matter to them at that moment in time. So they forget the importance of actually having a financial advisor, somebody who can tell them, hey, spend your money this way, don't do this, apply for these loans, stay away from these kinds of loans. So students just forget about that and they're worried about what actually matters to them at that moment. So the policy that I'm proposing would would require each prospective student to to go to a course or take a course in financial literacy in order to actually graduate high school and apply into a particular college. In this course, they would learn how to reduce their student loans, how to apply for scholarships, how to pay off debt faster. So after completing this course, uh, each student would would be allowed to enter into a college or to apply into a particular college. However, the program would not stop there. So this program would actually that I proposed would actually keep tabs on these particular students or on all students for that matter who go to college. That every year they'd have to check in with a counselor, check in with a financial advisor or somebody along those lines, and check in and make sure that how they're doing financially. Just as you would check in when you would check in for your grades, check how you're doing academically, you would check in to see how you're doing financially. I believe that this would help our students so much more and help us be more educated in having a financial future. The benefits of the program, I believe, would be that we would educate all of our prospective students to have a successful college life. They would be free of debt or with little debt, and it would help our students not just all across the universities, but I believe that it would also help our country. So I would urge you and encourage you to look into this. If you haven't heard about this policy, please uh, listen to my words and believe me when I say that this is going to be not just a benefit to all of our students because our students are going to be free of debt, but it would be a better success for our country as a whole because students with less debt can invest in our country, can invest in businesses, can start up businesses, and can do many different things with their education rather than paying off ridiculous amounts of interest loans. So I know, and I know many opponents would to this policy would probably say that this, having an extra class would hinder a student's life, and it would add more requirements and different things that they would need to do um, to be able to graduate. So it just add on to the workload. However, I would say that this class would not require large amounts of work. Why is that? I would say that this class would actually, or this course would actually help students apply for scholarships and FAFSA and small loans where that are advisable from a financial standpoint. So it would actually make less work for the student outside of class, so they could focus on other classes or things that they need to do, projects. And it would also lessen the workload of the counselors, because the counselors don't have to worry about talking to them about scholarships and different things in counseling time, or when they go check in with their counselor for the academic side of things. So I believe that it would, as a whole, would help and benefit everybody. So another fundamental thing that I believe that our students would benefit from this, and many naysayers would probably say that it would require too much time. Perhaps it's going to be a waste of time for these teachers who need to prepare themselves for to teach these classes. But I would argue with them and say, you know what, this is going to benefit our students. They're going to be better trained, better prepared for a better financial future. So I urge you to be open-minded to this policy, to have an open heart, to have an open mind, and understand that this policy is going to not just benefit our country, not just benefit our students, but benefit our country rather. So um, we understand that our students struggle with financial situations once they graduate high school, once they graduate college, and it doesn't do them any good having a big education and being stuck in a huge slump, paying for ridiculous amounts of money to banks and to loans, and paying, having to work, making all that money, but really doing nothing with it. I like to translate it as having a Ferrari with bald tires on them. I believe that is what having a financial slump and having an education is. So I urge you to support this policy, not just for the future of our students, but for the future of America. Thank you.